Almost 2 full minutes of regurgitating stuff we already know. I'm not a baby bird, Marvel. I can chew my own plot food, okay?
The Global Repatriation Council knows that for many, it wasn't that easy.
Wait, it wasn't that easy? Last time I said the blip was a bad idea, someone reminded me that Hulk said he wanted everyone to return safely. Certainly took into account their psychological health as well, right? I know I'm beating a dead pedantic horse here, go figure. But all I'm trying to say is that Marvel has still not wrestled with the moral ambiguity of returning half the population after being mourned as lost for 5 years. I'm gonna send them for it every chance I get.
Reset, restore, rebuild.
Why go with rebuild when restructure is right there and would keep the RES going? This is why everyone hates you, Marvel. Can anyone explain to me why Cap's helmet is designed to push his ears out like this? And it's not the actor, because I had the same thought even when there was a Chris wearing it. I'm just saying there are so many better options than this Captain Alfred E. America design.
Do you know who I am?
An ever-increasing caricature of American entitlement that's bordering on parody and starting to hinder my ability to buy into the story? Am I close? In case you confused it with Berlin, Take My Breath Away.
That time wasn't exactly a picnic.
This saying, picnics are not easy and generally suck. There's wind and critters and bumpy seating, and Aunt Jerry's about 5 hard lemonades into a rant on border control. You know, honestly, when something is terrible, it should be called a picnic.
What are you talking about? You want to break Zemo out of jail?
The better question is, why are you only talking about it now? What part of Falcon's personality makes you think he wouldn't have forced a conversation about what happened in there immediately? Especially considering there's time for an entire jailbreak sometime before we get to this conversation.
He is crazy, but he still has a code.
Yeah, and I've been on the wrong side of that code, Buck, and so have you.
This show is desperately trying to use this Sam-Bucky conversation to give us a valid reason Bucky would go all finding Zemo and break him out of jail. But it's clearly only because the plot needs it to happen, which honestly is happening a lot on this show.
What's the book you're reading?
Machiavelli.
I've watched this prison break scene several thousand times now, and I still can't figure out what's supposed to have happened here. Bucky asks him what he's reading, as if he's the one that put the key card in the book, but how and when? Zemo's apparently already been reading the book, so why hasn't he seen it before? And then they just happen to walk Bucky through Gen Pop during chess time and completely miss him tossing this note to one of the local grandmasters? Speaking of the note, when did he have time to write it? And with what? And how did he know there would be a situation where just 2 guys are sitting at a table? Wouldn't that "he will kill you tonight" note have been confusing if he had to drop it at a table with several inmates? And why does Mobby Fisher here even believe this random note from an absolute random stranger? Then the escape completely yada yadas how Zemo got outside the building, preferring just to show him use his card on a couple interior doors as if he somehow knew exactly where he was going. I mean, I suppose I could have just thrown a "this works" on this whole escape, but then I wouldn't have gotten to use the Mobby Fisher joke, and no one keeps me from my name puns. No one.
So all this time you've been rich?
Apparently so. And it's a good thing too, because we need a jet for any of this to work. Who cares that his assets should have been seized? Marvel's got a Marvel, I guess.
He's out of line, but he's right.
TVSins defenders.
James, you will have to become someone you claim is gone.
Is it Santa Claus? Oh, please tell me it's Santa Claus. Playing soccer in enclosed spaces. Or really at all.
Hell, he does look like me, though.
Convenient doppelgangers. Convenepelgangers? This opening street crime montage, Fast and Furious, is on for some time. Also, do you want broken ankles? Because this is how you get broken ankles.
I love these.
Character has to eat or drink something disgusting to prove they aren't an outsider cliche.
A power broker, really?
My response from the future when someone tells me this is their favorite episode of the show somehow makes it into the script. Sure, in the grimiest, crimiest underbelly bar in this hive of scum and villainy, people are still whipping out their phones to record this kerfuffle. This would be one of the most violent group of Cameraverse people in history. Anyone trying to snag some social media clout down here would basically be trading their lives for likes on Debasebook, or whatever site obvious criminal stereotypes use for social media these days.
The breadcrumbs you can have for free. What the bakery's going to cost you, Baron.
Using carbohydrates for evil instead of good. Aside from the overall stupidity of leaving his phone on vibrate, Sam lets this phone rumble for several seconds before he's then asked to answer it on speaker. Why didn't he just reject that call immediately? Also, I'm throwing in a sin for Sarah and anyone else who calls someone without texting first. This is 2021, Sarah. Show some respect for mobile protocol. Also, I'm not sure which I'm more impressed with, that you're managing to get 2 full bars of service down in this dungeon, or that you took the time to ask someone here for the Wi-Fi password.
Kill them!
Deus ex power brokena. Ex Sharona? Ex Bothina?
I can't run in these heels!
Calling these heels.
Was is big difference.
I mean, maybe, but if someone said I was a serial killer or I am a serial killer, the difference starts to shrink a bit, doesn't it?
Sharon, we need your help.
Stating the obvious.
What's going on, Sharon?
What's going on is that Sharon has a rack of clothing that will perfectly fit you. That's twice in one day that Sam has had a perfectly tailored outfit change without having to resort to gym shorts and an old ratty t-shirt that says orgasm donor on the front. Crowds. And yes, I would have seen this before the pandemic too. There's just more people on my side now. Also, we spend so much time on this party montage that I'm beginning to think this episode is 30% establishing montages, 16% actual plot, and 54% trying to justify all these people being willing to work with f***ing Zemo, having a secret entrance that is unlocked and can be opened with a simple push.
You know who he is, right? This is Baron Zemo. I know you've heard of him too, right?
Of course, because every single person in this entire universe is familiar with every single player in these movies. I'm just saying 90% of America couldn't even tell you who Eugene Goodman is, and that dude is about as close as we get to a superhero on this planet, so excuse me if I'm doubtful.
Every bounty hunter in the city is here. We gotta go.
Scene does not contain a Boba Fett. Also, I get that every bounty hunter is after you, but how did any of them know you were here right now? And why would they share that info with anyone else?
Not my pig, not my farm.
Charlotte's Web deniers. This guy waits until such the perfect moment to plot convenience his rocket launcher, they might as well have left the director in the shot screaming, "Action!"
It's in every action movie!
Falcon Stressed would be excellent at TVSins. But also, every time these two fight, I get Lethal Weapon vibes, and honestly, their chemistry is so good, I'm somehow not hating it. No. I've watched enough Mythbusters to know you can't just know where to shoot a pipe so it explodes like that, no matter how skilled you are. You think you can do these things, but you just can't, Zemo. Also, now all of a sudden Zemo has gone from an intellectual manipulator with an Avengers grudge to a wealthy vigilante wearing a mask with dead-eye aiming skills and incredible fighting prowess? Since when did Zemo turn into the MCU's version of Batman? So they just happened to pick an empty, open shipping container that somehow leads to a magical escape car? Did you see a Mr. Tumnus in there as well? Were you offered some Turkish delight on your way through? Guess I won't be needing this anymore.
If we get the job done, do you really think they're gonna sweat us on the how?
Putting the ends before the means. And what I mean by that is that this show is more concerned about having dramatic episode ends without worrying about what any of it actually means.
Thanks, Torres.
Saying a character's name out loud because it's been so long since they've actually been in the show that we've forgotten they exist.
I was wondering when you were gonna show up.
Is laying a path of Kamoyo beads really the best way to do this? Anyone could have seen those and picked them up before Bucky did. I guess Marvel just wanted to walk on the convenience side of the street for this one, huh? Hey yo! Sorry guys, it's basically a disease at this point.
And this Chateau LeBlanc 68 is supposed to be served slightly chilled. This is room temperature.
Did you know that we create monthly exclusive videos for our Sin Club members? Bonus outtakes,
I don't know, Peter. Meth is a hell of a drug.
extra Sins videos,
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
and even member-chosen Sin commentaries.
I love this. I love this kind of a sin because it's so silly.
Pick our next video and see the exclusives at patreon.com/cinemasins, or click the link in the description below.
Spider-Man is not a parade. You do not need to stop traffic for Spider-Man.
Sir, that stolen Lima bit one of your prostitutes right in the face, and she says she can't go to hospital because she's, quote, tripping balls.
You will be sorely missed, you little bat-faced piece of shit.
I have never,
Well, I'll get
in
used to
all
it.
of my 23 years,
It's a pirate sanctuary.
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Did anybody tell you that this is the private club of the Satan's helpers?
Nobody hit me to that, dude.
We have a real problem now, so leave your weapons and follow my lead.